Hi everyone, it's Enoch Miller, your Empress West Hollywood here for another episode of Holding Court with the Empress of WeHo. Thank you so much for being with here tonight! Yes! We want to give a special thank you to our amazing producers, GayLifeLA.com, for making this happen, as well as Kings Road Apartment Homes for the amazing space you see here today as well. I want to give a special shout out to a quick announcement that I had. My good friend Ryan Casada let me know that there's an amazing event going on here September 15th at 8:30 p.m. It's going to be a special concert for the Special Olympics. They're raising funds for them over there to kind of help some people that are wanting to participate with that. It's going to be Evelyn and Mio Alston Music Center, which is down over in LA. I think that's near downtown area. So September 15th, we'll be putting that information up on Gay Life LA for where you guys can go and purchase tickets, and also how you can help support the Special Olympics with that. But thank you, Ryan, for letting us know about that. And you can always go check out Ryan Casada, some amazing music that he has for amazing queer media as well that he helps represent, and then everything he does for trans artists there as well too. So thank you, Ryan, for letting me know about that event, and then we'll be keeping you guys in touch with more of that. But I want to say a special thank you to my amazing guests here today. We have Arisce and Brandon! And they're here with the amazing new series, Fish Tank, which is really exciting. It's about two trans women going on dating excursions and the shit that ensues from that, which is so funny. They have an amazing cast of characters up there. Arisce is one of the leads there, and then Brandon is the amazing work behind the camera that kind of makes all the magic happen and really gives you the nice visualizations you see there. So thank you both for coming today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Yay. So we're kind of going to start from the beginning, kind of get to know a little bit about the two of you and kind of how you guys started out. We'll go ladies first. So Arisce, you're originally from out west, kind of, like, I mean, it's straight up west, I guess. I mean, it's out over by Woodbridge, Virginia.
Yeah.
It's like a little town over there. What's it close to specifically?
DC.
DC.
Like I'm 30 minutes from DC.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, it's, I'm a true blue East Coaster, but now I'm a West Coast girl.
She's a West Coast woman, yes! And you've been out here in LA for a while now, and really kind of established yourself out. You've been, were you originally in Burbank, right? When you first moved out here?
When I first moved out here, I was in Koreatown for like 1 month.
Okay.
And I was in Burbank for 7 months.
Okay.
And I was in West Hollywood for 2 weeks. And then, yeah, it's a long, sad road paved with, lots of dead people on the way. Not real dead people, but dead to me.
They're buried underneath the chapel. That's what they are.
And then I ended up in Hollywood for about 3.5 years, and
Okay.
now I am in Mid-City.
Oh, awesome. And then Brandon, you're originally out from East Coast area as well.
Yes.
You're over in Mount Vernon, New York,
Yes.
which is actually not too far from probably DC area, I would assume.
4 hours.
Okay. I'm so bad with how, I know they're all like very close together. Like it'd take us probably 8 days to get to it in LA, but it'd be like closer to you guys out there out east. So for the two of you, what do you guys really appreciate about the dynamics between East and West Coast? Because I mean, they're obviously very much a part of what kind of you guys brought up from. But for you, Brandon, what was kind of one aspect about the East Coast that you really like, but also what kind of really drew you to Los Angeles?
What I love about the East Coast, there's like an energy to
Okay.
it. Especially in New York City. There's like a driving force that everyone just kind of like falls in line with. So I love that about New York. It's very driven, like the people in the city are very driven.
Mm-hmm.
And on the East Coast, things are a little bit more zen and chill.
Okay.
And so I can appreciate that too. That's kind of one of the things that drew me to LA is that it's very relaxed, and I feel like I'm not going all the time. I can kind of just sit back and chill here.
Okay.
So yeah.
And then for Arisce, for you, what kind of was your favorite thing about the East Coast area, and then really what kind of drew you here to LA?
I would say like the East Coast taught me work ethic.
Okay.
So I'm constantly working,
Mhm.
always working on something, always wanting to be better than the old me.
Right.
Always just comparing myself to myself. And then I move out here, and because people are so relaxed, they usually take that to work with them.
Okay.
But then it keeps me working, so that's fine.
Gotcha. You're like, I can do myself and do it all that.
I'm gonna work harder.
Which is great. And so you both kind of grew up in this this kind of industry of where you're a little bit more, you start out more modeling, fashion, and then kind of moved into being an actress. And then Brandon, for you, you kind of went to school for digital media and wanting to be a part of that. especially with this industry, I'd love to kind of hear for the two of you the kind of the behind the scenes aspect of what is an insight into a day in the life of what you guys like to do for this industry, because I like this really cool dynamic of like kind of in front of the camera, behind the camera, and really seeing those two worlds of really what really goes into that kind of life. So, so Arisce, for you, becoming a model and wanting to really kind of shine and be this really fun, effervescent, beautiful woman that you are today, what really drew you to being in front of the camera and wanting to be a model?
Modeling, it was really fun for a long time.
Mhm.
Now it's work.
Yeah.
But it was fun for a long time because I liked what got me into it. I liked seeing myself through another artist's eyes.
Okay.
Because you're always going to be what they want to see you as.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're young, you're very impressionable. You don't know who you are yet. So you're learning who you are through all these different, gazes, through photographers, creative directors, designers, how they want you to look. And that's really, really fun for a while. But now that I'm a little older, that's why I like acting, because you can sort of fall into where you think you fit.
Gotcha.
And that's where, like on Fish Tank, I'm playing myself basically.
Right.
And because I like myself, I like who I've grown up into being.
Yeah.
And so like I think it's great acting as someone else every once in a while. But I've been so many different people throughout my life through the control of other people that I want to be myself for a little bit.
Okay. And then Brandon, for you, what really drew you into the whole cinematography aspect and doing creative design with behind the camera?
I'm a very visual person,
Okay.
I'd say. So I think before even I decided to become a director, I was really interested in cinematography.
Okay.
Because I just love like beautiful shots and like, when they're composed really well, or when there's a lot of thought that goes into it. Like in terms of filmmaking, like I initially wanted to be a cinematographer.
Okay.
But the more you work in this thing, I kind of realized like, I also want to tell my own stories. Like, so the storytelling aspect is kind of what drew me more to directing.
Okay.
And with Fish Tank in particular, like I'm not telling my story,
Right.
but these are like my friends' stories, and
Right.
we all kind of, we all go through pretty much similar things, So I just want to be able to have a platform to share not only my stories, but like my friends' stories as well.
Yeah. And it's really great because, especially when you go through your website and kind of see all the different elements of what you do, from regular shoots to music videos to other different series. You kind of have your own personal series as well, you do. And it's really that fun aspect of you kind of just showcasing life and you and your friends kind of hanging out, and really makes this fun visual aspect of it all, while still kind of just giving them the experience with you and around them feeling like they're alongside with you for the ride. For you, what do you really appreciate the most about being able to showcase someone else's either art or talent? What really gives you that drive to go and like search out these different people and find out a way to kind of give them their expression in a visual aspect?
I think it all boils down to like connecting.
Okay.
Like connecting with people. So through sharing your story, you're able to kind of just be authentic and be vulnerable in front of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And people are able to see that, and they see a little bit of themselves in that, and they can relate to that. I think my first, like really what first got me into filmmaking was my grandmother. She used to record like all of our family, like any like event. She was recording
That
like,
sounds scary.
like if you have a dance recital or like any like whatever's going on, any family. I come from a really big family. So she would record everything, and we all loved watching back these old videos.
Oh, okay.
Like years later, we're still wanting to watch them. So I feel like that really influenced a lot of what I do now, because I do make a lot of kind of documentary style. Like the filmmaking is kind of docu-style to where it feels real.
Okay.
But really what it all boils down to is that you're able to kind of put yourself in these people's shoes, because what they're going through, you can go through the same thing yourself.
And Arisce, for you, you are a very visual person. Obviously she is striking, and it always comes out. You always are very stunning in your persona and appearance. What really, for you, kind of is what you want to portray and convey to someone that either sees you on the screen, sees you on stage, sees you in a runway? What is the vision you're trying to portray to the people that watch you?
I don't think it didn't start out this way, but
Okay.
the older I got and the more I didn't see myself in the media, I didn't see myself on TV, I felt very underrepresented, because trans women of color on television in the media are always down and out,
Right.
always like ex-drug addicts, always
Right.
on the streets,
Or like, yeah,
working the
exactly.
streets. They're always doing sex work. They're always doing something that I didn't grow up doing. You
Yeah.
know, so I felt kind of like, well, like I was an equestrian for 5 years. That's,
Oh, wow.
Wait, no, like we don't have that. Like I was captain of my cheerleading squad.
Yeah.
Like I came from like a middle class family, but like a supportive one.
Yeah.
Which is lucky of me. I feel blessed that that's great.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still not. I don't see myself on TV anywhere. So the older I got, the more I didn't see me on TV. I knew I had to be that person more and more. Like
Yeah.
I have to really represent for my community and the people who aren't being spoken for, because we're only told that we can do one thing.
Yeah.
In casting rooms, we're only told we can do one thing. On paper, it's only one thing,
Right.
one thing, one thing. This is what a trans person is. And I
Right.
think that's bullshit. Like that's not who I am.
Yeah, and you
So-
you transitioned at a very not early age, but at an earlier age than most individuals get to. You were about 19.
Yeah, I was 19.
And
Yeah.
it really, I mean, you were living your truth. I mean, very early on, and really had a solid identity into kind of who you were, and knowing very securely, hey, this is who I am.
It was a work.
I mean-
it was definitely work, but I knew that I was just gonna go through with it.
Yeah.
Because you're either like, I think that's an easy choice. You're either gonna be miserable for everyone else or
Mhm.
happy with yourself.
Right.
And so I'm like, well, I have to live here. So
Right.
I'm like, I can't. I can't do this. I can't.
I have to live right here. This
Yeah,
has
this
to.
is- it's
I
the
gotta
only
do this
place-
24/7.
Yeah, it's the only place you have to live. Like I
Yeah.
have to take this person to the store, and I want to go to the store as the person I feel like I am.
Yeah.
So
Which is a great, and I feel like, especially the representation you've given for trans working women and men and any industry, it's such a struggle to just really just not, like you said, be cast as these very stereotypical ideals that everyone assumes to have. Especially, I mean, I kind of was a little heartbroken when I saw Pose, because it felt like very much the same thing. But I feel what they represented very well was the fact that that was what they had to do back in the 80s, and that was something they were just showing the story of it all. Which is why, but I said, like you said exactly, you see a lot of these characters that are played, and they're very much portrayed as these trashy, like you said, down and out type of women and men that are just like going through it and are just bad because they just happen to be transgender individuals, and it feels like it's such a like you said, it's a misrepresented community in the media that really doesn't give it a light that really should. I mean, you're normal, everyday people, just like anyone else.
doing normal everyday
Doing
stuff.
normal everyday stuff that anyone else would do, and I feel like people need to stop feeling like it's such an oddity to see the normal side of it all, and it really just, which is really what I appreciate what Brandon did with the series. It really kind of just made this a normal everyday struggle that people have.
Yeah.
Dating, which is shit across any board,
Right.
and it really just gave, like, again, just showing two women struggling through it with trying to date. And let's talk a little bit. Talk a little bit more about queer media, because I feel a lot of people are just now starting to really produce legitimate media for individuals and for who they are and what they represent as their day-to-day lives, and really giving either actresses or actors or models really the attention in that specific category, and not saying, oh, well, this is who you are, but let's have you play something else, because we feel like this is what you need to fit better into. Arisce, for you, where have you seen kind of the industry shift over the last maybe 5 years, 10 years?
Honestly, I have to give a lot of credit to Pose, because
Okay.
it's serving as like an LGBTQ history lesson.
Right.
And it's showing, the thing you have to really take from Pose is that these are working actors.
Yeah.
These are real women working actors.
Right.
Real women and men on this show.
Yeah.
Working actors, and they go home to their like nice apartments, and they go to castings every day. Like
Right.
if you follow Angelica Ross on Twitter
Oh my
or
gosh, yeah.
Instagram, like she is
Yeah.
all up and through Atlanta. She's hosting a thing. She's
She is
on a red
busy.
carpet. Yeah, no, but she's not down and out. Like
No.
that's an actress. She's
Yeah.
a working actress, and you have to take from the show. This is just a history lesson.
Right.
Trans 2018
Yes.
is Fish Tank.
Exactly.
So whereas this is, so I'm saying that's where, and the tipping point really came for mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
Would have to, it's still happening.
Yeah.
So just the past 5 years, I'd say Caitlyn Jenner made a big impact. Laverne Cox has been around forever.
Well, Laverne Cox for sure. Melanie Mendelsohn. I always mess up her name because it's like trying to say that fast.
Mhm.
Especially her for the everyday entrepreneur, and really just showing a trans woman working. El Pollo Loco. She is like one of the main El Pollo Loco franchises out here,
Mhm.
and really it's having those men and women that really are just like a staple, showing, hey, here's a face that you can see. They do everything we can do, and they're good at it. And then Brandon, for you, what was really your inspiration behind wanting to do a series like this, and really kind of what started the little brainchild of creating Fish Tank?
It kind of started very organically.
Okay.
It was inspired for sure based off of Arisce's dating column. She used to write a dating column for Original Plumbing, and so it's based in part on that. And Isis approached me and she was like, "Oh, I would love to just like film some scenes for like my reel." Like, and I was like, "Why don't we do something else? Like, let's create a show." Like, literally, that's how it started.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, we can. You have material. She's got material. We all just literally sat down. We brainstormed. I like picked both their brains for all their dating.
Did they just
stories.
go through a Tinder history? Is that what it was?
Yeah, okay, it's funny because he was talking about, I remember this, we're sitting at the kitchen table, like the dining room table, and I said, oh my god, are we really doing this? I was like, this is going to be a lot of work. I already knew, I was like, oh my god, because none of us do anything half-assed. So I was like, oh god, we're doing a show? This is going to take forever.
It took like a year too, but you know, it ends up being a very
great.
therapeutic process too, because you're able to relive these experiences and kind of like put them to bed. You know, if you had an experience from the past that you feel like you were burned from, or you just wanted to be able to put this person on blast without really putting them on
You
blast.
wanted to Taylor Swift that shit. That's what you wanted to do.
No, we Taylor Swift did everybody. we draked them.
Pull the rug from right under.
Like we named names in there.
Oh, I love it.
But yeah, you're able to do all these things. So that's kind of where it started. It started very organically from like her dating history, from Ice's dating history.
Okay.
We just joined the two, and then that's when I just started writing and plotting the show together and just kind of punching it up for comedy. So it's really where
Like he
it all started.
storyboarded all of it. Like
Okay.
made us picture scenes that you could see, which I'd never seen before. So I was like, oh neat. Okay, so this is exactly what the scene's gonna look like. Okay, like all right. And he was like, and I put these two characters into this character, so it's gonna be they're gonna be the guys one and the same of these two guys that you dated. So they'll have like double the problems.
Oh, this is so cool.
Which makes it more fun.
So this is, and then so now I was actually wanting to talk a little bit about the creative process and how everything came together with like getting it started. Okay, so you're kind of like you're writing everything out based on their different experiences from Isis and from Arisce's like from Tinder, and from going on all these different things. So did you kind of take every scenario and really kind of just rework it a little way, or did you just take chunks from each part and then just kind of played with it a little bit more organically on how you think it would have played out?
Kind of like, I would say, yeah, we took chunks.
Okay.
They actually shared some experiences. Like some of the experiences Arisce went through, Isis went through as well.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, okay, well, who are we gonna give this person to? Like, or maybe it's like they both kind of interact with this one character, you know? So yeah, we found it's literally like there was a cherry picking process. Like they give me their experiences, and I kind of, like she said, would either combine qualities and traits of different guys into one guy. But we really were focused on making sure that it was funny.
Right.
So like the show, we always wanted to end with like a funny button where there's like a joke at the end,
Okay.
or you know, being in really ridiculous situations and kind of tethering the line between tragedy and comedy, because some of these events are kind of tragic, but like you can find a way to look at it and find the humor in it anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. And it's true. I mean, no one likes to have a breakup or like get their heart broken or like get like a really shitty situation with a guy. I mean, you never want to go through it like that because it is not fun. But I like the way of like really taking it and making it a little bit of a kind of a humorous aspect to it all, or it just kind of ends very like sarcastically. So I kind of like how that goes through with that. Finding other, I mean, you have Isis and Arisce, like finding other actors and actresses to be character this. What was your process of finding other people? Was it like a lot of friends, or did you guys have like a casting call? How did you kind of play that out?
We reached within our network.
Okay.
Yeah, literally like Issa Rae says, when you're looking to create, most people want to like network up.
Okay.
But it's really great to kind of network side to side, see who's next to you and who you can work with, who you have access to. That's pretty much how we did this. Like we all reached throughout our network of people.
Okay.
And got the whole cast together.
Which I love, because it's a lot of people actually I even know. We were talking earlier about like Ryan Fisher,
Yes.
Patrick Azara,
Yes.
T.S. Madison, we're all, I mean, Laith Ashley. I mean, you guys have some really great like casts of people that just kind of, like, again, it's all local individuals, people that everyone is very familiar with in the community around here. Arisce, for you, what was it like kind of working with all these different personalities? I know you and Laith have worked together before. is it easier working with someone as an actress, or is it easier working with someone as a model? Like, what's the different dynamic for you, do you feel?
Working with someone as a model, you don't have to talk to them at all.
Okay.
Which is great. Whereas an actor, no, as an actor, you have to vibe with people. You have to get their energy.
Right.
It's an energy exchange. Whereas in modeling, you're in your own little bubble, and I'm just doing me. And
this is my shot.
Yeah, this is a one-woman show. Like, it's literally, that's my runway show anytime I get on a runway. So,
which makes sense, because all they're all focused on is like you at the time.
Exactly.
Right.
Just get your shot and get out of there.
Got it.
You know, versus acting, it has to be an energy exchange. So you have to get to know this person. You have to be on a certain level with someone to create anything good or watchable. And so, but the great thing about Fish Tank is that a lot of people brought their own character to life.
Okay.
Like they were given guidelines of what their character was about, and like Ryan Leslie Fisher knocked it out of the park.
Because Ryan's
knocked it out of the
so
park.
scary good at doing those.
And he's so cute at the same time that you're kind of like, I guess I'd stay on the date with him. No, but then T.S. Madison did the same thing where, like, she was. You remember Trina? Her character was originally supposed to be this like boring ass basic bitch.
Yeah.
And
And
we were like, no. She's like, ooh, I'm gonna name her Trina because that's my favorite rapper. I'm like, okay, all right. So she just like ran with it, and it was gold. It's just comedic gold.
And she, I mean, it's also, to be personal, she's an amazing personality. She's larger than life, and she just really, when you see her, you can't help smile every time because she just cracks your shit up.
Yeah.
And she's always just a bundle of energy and joy. What is it, because, I mean, that is a big personality. What is it like working with someone like that? Obviously, you having to kind of work in a dynamic, but how do you control yourself?
It's
while
impossible.
Not...
There's a full outtake reel of
me
me laughing at T.S. Madison shading us. Like, she's like, you and your drag queen friend, and I'm like, and then I'm done. I'm like, okay, turn my camera off. You can keep recording her. I'm finished. Like, I have to walk off, and it would take me like 2 or 3 minutes to recuperate, and be like, all right, start over. Like, I try to dry my face.
But it does. I mean, there's a lot of scenes of her kind of like reading you guys as like, and being like really like mean and shady about like these men, and you're like, oh bitch, like no, don't come for me, or like talking about like you said, you and your drag queen friend, or don't steal my boys because these are my boys who come out and cut you, like shit like that. So how, like, the dynamic of working with that, and then also, I mean, Laith is a very strong personality as well, very professional, but just like, I mean, first of all, you come in front of that man and you melt. But working, since you've worked with him before, what was the dynamic like from switching from modeling and doing scenes together to actually being out and acting?
Oh, I never had to work with him, so good for me. That's all I have to say about that. How about you?
Oh yeah, Laith worked with ISIS.
Oh, it's ISIS. Okay,
Yeah.
I was looking at the clips and I was like looking through it. So okay, so it's ISIS that Laith worked with because
Yeah.
he's. Oh, that's right, because he's like, oh, I know you. You're. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so he
keep our
played.
shit together.
You know, he played a cisgender man, and then T.S. made a cisgender woman. And what's great is that all of their insults were so authentic towards us because they know exactly what it feels like to get shaded like that on a trans level. So that's.
So it really kind of added the level of like you said, authenticity, because it's like they connected with it at a very personal level.
It's a little nuanced.
Yeah.
Because they're two LGBT celebrities that are
Playing
coming
cis.
for these trans people. Yeah, coming for these trans people when. If you really think about it deeper, of course they can come for us correctly because they know.
It's like they know exactly. So with all these different people working out the different dynamics and personalities, Brandon, that again you've kind of reached out to your guys' networks and are figuring everything out. How did you kind of figure out where you wanted to place everyone and really kind of insert these dynamics of the different relationships they had talked about and real life experiences to really combining them and really making it work for that individual person playing that character?
I mean, through the writing process, we made sure, or I made sure that, you know, all of the side characters that are in the show were meant to be like really funny people that kind of bring out the best or the worst in our stars for the show. You know? So, you know, the casting process, getting everyone together and like choosing, we just kind of felt it out, you know, like like she said with Madison's character, she was initially written to be like kind of like a boring Becky type character that just, you know, she thinks she's down and she's like down with the girls, but she doesn't. And she's like throwing slang out, and you know, Madison ended up taking it a whole different direction. So it's what's great is that, you know, we allowed, there's room, like the way we shot the show, we didn't shoot it traditionally like other shows. We had a script, but when we were shooting, we were just kind of going based off of bullet points.
Okay.
I was like, just make sure you guys hit these points and you can improv your way there. Like, however, because I want it to feel natural, I want it to feel very flowy. And yeah, and the tough thing about this show, because really it was produced by us, like, so we didn't have any backers, any financial backers. So getting everyone to shoot on a no budget schedule is really tough, you know, because you're just working around everyone's schedule. So we had so many times where we were rescheduling to just get everyone's availability together. And when we finally did have everybody, we just made sure we like got everything we needed really quickly. So it was a very, once we got it down, we were shooting, like we're in and out.
Okay.
So it was kind of very fast and quick when we had the time, because then there were large lulls between, you know, getting everyone's availability together.
Right. So for you, when it came to kind of really organizing, putting everything together, were you kind of editing in between the different processes of getting shots done at the same time, or were you kind of waiting until you got everything shot, and then after that point you started really editing everything together? Kind of what was your process on that?
Yeah, it took us, we started shooting like April 2017, I think. April 2017 we started shooting, and we wrapped in like February, so it took, it took about a year to shoot. And so while we were shooting, yes, I was editing and like breaking down scenes, but we didn't necessarily shoot everything in order. So
well, and typically most places, I mean, when you do anything, especially even for movies, you kind of do what you need to do during whatever time of day or whatever that fits for that scene, and then you kind of come back and like fill in the gaps of everything else that you missed. So I can totally see that, and not necessarily going completely in order.
Yeah, and there's a lot that you just don't have control over. You don't have control over the weather sometimes. Sometimes it would rain. We're like, really? Rain?
In LA? It rained around here?
The one Beverly Hills Rodeo Drive walking scene that we'd scheduled, like it was scheduled to the T. We're all waking up at like 6 a.m. to get there, and it's pouring down rain outside in Los Angeles. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, there's just not rain here.
Where did this come
from? So we
from?
rescheduled, but it ended up being better than it would have been because the light was so perfect. For the next time we rescheduled. So, and all the stars aligned for that too. And we got a really great actor, Wayne, to be in it.
Oh, fantastic. So, for respect to you with, let's talk about the fun dynamic of this entire series. You and Isis working together and really playing off each other. How, I mean, like you had said earlier that you loved to get to do this because, I mean, it was you just really playing yourself and really kind of just portraying yourself as an individual. How much of it was tacked onto a little bit of a character, and how much of it did you keep authentically you?
I think some of my hoe activities exaggerated.
Wait, I want to hold on. Let me see if there's fake news on that one. Hold on.
I'm like, my mom is watching this, so none of that happened.
Hi, Mom. She's an
I'm
angel.
a virgin. Right,
only in her ears.
Yes. Some of the quickness behind it was a little exaggerated, just because if I was that forward, I would not be single right now. Anyway, but it was pretty authentically me.
Okay.
It was pretty authentically me. Like it's what I'm about. I think it's how I carry myself through life.
Okay.
And it's definitely someone I wanted to portray, like as a trans woman of color on television.
And I mean,
I've never seen it.
It's very. I mean, she's extremely confident. She knows what she wants. She goes for it. And which I can see that definitely is you. It's the funny dynamic between you and Isis's character is the fact that, I mean, she's very much like, I can't get him in to set my life, and you're like, I have them all. I just like use and abuse and just like toss them aside. When playing with this dynamic, because I mean, it's really, I mean, at the end of the day, it's the two of you coming together and just like, girl, like help. How do you kind of feel a lot of that was stuff the two of you had dealt with before, and a lot of it was just kind of like you said, it was just giving you guys individual aspects? Did you pull a lot from past, or did you try and stay away from too much personal?
I think we were both pretty authentically ourselves.
Okay.
If I can speak for both of us. Like, I know she's not here to speak for herself.
Right,
It was pretty authentic to who she is. You know, she's like a hopeless romantic,
Okay.
sweet girl, and I'm Samantha from Sex and the City. Like, you know, like
yes, Blanche, Miss Deborah.
yeah, a little bit, yeah. But you know, so there's a great yin and yang balance there
Yes.
because you know the one that people can usually relate to is the softer one,
Right.
whereas I'm the edgier one.
Mhm.
So, you know, I'm there for like comic relief almost. Like, oh my god, this girl is such a hoe. Like, versus I can relate to the nice one.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of people do relate to your aspect of just, like I said, being a very strong, confident woman and being out there to say, hey, this is me, I'm comfortable with me, and it felt like your character very much portrayed that of just she knew exactly who she was, and she wasn't going to let anyone else tell her otherwise, and it was just kind of like, that was shown very much through across, and I feel like from what it sounds like, what you were trying to portray as someone that's just, I mean, very secure in herself and knowing exactly what she wants, and she's going to get what she wants when she wants it. So which is fantastic. And for really being able to step into the light now of portraying yourself and not really, like you said before, of having all these people dictate kind of what Arisce is and really kind of saying, oh, this is what you are to the world. What did you feel like getting to do this experience and really kind of portraying you and like very vocalizing you as an actress and then kind of as a person as well?
For me, it's a privilege, just because a lot of people don't get to play themselves. Or
Right.
they don't get to play something that just is literally second nature.
Yeah.
Like, turn on the camera and I'm being myself.
And it's me.
And so, yeah, like, what would I do in this situation? Got it. You know, so a lot of people will make a part their own, whereas this was already mine. And so
Okay.
I think that's a privilege because most actors don't get to do that, especially, like, I've only lived here just under 5 years.
Oh,
like,
okay.
and now we have a show on Amazon Prime, and I'm playing myself, so...
Which is really, I mean,
Yeah.
Amazon Prime, I like that you brought it because I really want to read that. How did you get Amazon Prime? Because they are not easy to work with. I've heard a lot of people, there's all the rigmarole of paperwork and things you have to go through and whatever their criterias are. How did you really find like the connection to really make that work, and kind of what was the process for you on that?
It is very strenuous, but I have to thank Anthony Bond. He was my connection
Okay.
through for Amazon. He really hooked it up, and he yeah,
What happened, baby?
he really helped to make it happen. He was the connection to kind of bridge the gap to get us to Amazon. So from there, you know, they have a video direct program that we basically submitted to, and the process, it took about a month.
Oh, wow.
Going back and forth between like giving them everything that they needed, because some things, like, you know, they're very strict on like what their thumbnails need to look like.
Oh, yeah.
Or what they'll approve of, what they don't.
I know their guidelines are extremely stringent. Like they're like specific on
There was,
everything.
every week it was no, no, fix this, fix this, and we're like, we're never going live.
But a month, that's
That's a
really
lot.
impressive, actually, because I've seen these things going for years, or a whole year, and they're just like, okay, just get fucking out there, just like do it already.
It was kind of tough because we were trying to like plan, like, okay, like have an exact release date.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
Right.
we didn't get to do it exactly that way. It was just like, okay, it's on Prime now.
Yeah.
Now you can tell people.
Go get it.
go now.
Oh, but also I want to just piggyback off the last thing you said
Yes.
with Arisce portraying herself on camera. One of the things that we set out to do at the beginning when we made this show is to show her funny side. You know, after shooting, she got into stand-up comedy, but she's always been a funny person. And you know, on Strut, when you watch Arisce, like she's kind of like the sassy, quick
You're
tongue person,
definitely,
but she's not really. You don't go to her for like the laughs. They didn't really portray like her humorous side so much. Whereas I'm like, she's such a funny person. You should definitely have a show where you're able to let that out.
Okay.
Just let your funny out. You know.
Which is very true. I will say on Strut, the episodes I've seen you in, you were very just much that kind of girl. Was like, oh no, like it just like you had a nice little snap for everything that someone said, and like a fun little comeback on different stuff with it. And really, I mean, I do agree they didn't show kind of that. It's not.
It came off as more aggressive.
Yeah,
because I
for
got
sure.
a lot of hate mail.
Yeah, it came
like,
off as
you're
like,
a bitch.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm a funny bitch.
But it's like, I thought it was hilarious because it's like, it's shit we would say here around to your friends, just like, oh girl, bye please. Like stuff funny, like what we find is hilarious. Shade. But I mean, for real, I really can see, I really like that you pulled out that dynamic of who you are as a very fun. I mean, I saw you when you did for LA Pride. You were up there on main stage, and I mean, you were hilarious up there. You were getting everyone laughing. You were having fun. You were really energetic, and you really just kind of pulled the crowd into like everyone just being excited to be there for Pride. What was that experience like for you, being up there in front of thousands of people?
It was like 70,000 people or something.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work. It's a lot more work than you ever imagined it's going to be.
Her name's Billy Francesca. Love you, girl.
Yeah, Billy, your work. I think you know that. Okay. Anyone could watch that video back and see that you're work, girl. Anyway.
She just will do this.
I was like, so that was a job. Anyway. But, we powered through. And because I had a really great team behind me. And that I could have never imagined needing so much. But because every time I left stage, I changed outfits again.
Oh, yeah, because you were like in like 5 or 6 different outfits, right? Something
I
like
think
that?
it was like 9.
Oh, it was 9?
Yeah,
I lost count.
Honey. Yeah,
it was a lot.
Honey. Because I packed 13 and I only didn't wear like 2 or 3 things.
Wow.
But I was ready, honey. Like,
That's amazing.
Don't hire me for an event. I'm coming ready.
She will have bags packed.
Yes, honey. Like, it's a thing. But it was a lot of fun. I could do it again. It was great. The audience, I was received really well. And I really liked the LA Pride people. They were really nice to work with. And
they're a great group over there. CSW is a really amazing organization, and they put in the work. It's not an easy job to put on LA Pride every year, and it's a lot of work.
It looked so great.
Yeah.
For how chaotic it was. Like, it was a Shakira concert. I was like, it was so intense. It was a lot.
Yeah, especially when they have everything going at once. You're just gonna like,
yeah. And that's where we actually premiered Fish Tanks.
The trailer?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
It was on the 3 big screens at LA Pride, so that was a cute moment for us.
So, Brandon, for you, what do you hope the next step for either Fish Tank or maybe even another series might look like for what you're wanting to do in the future?
Yes, I want to do season 2 for Fish Tank.
Season 2! I was hoping you'd say that!
I want Amazon Prime Studios to back us up.
Yes.
Come on, we want to give you that check.
Yeah.
So make season 2.
Right? I want to swim in my own pool for Fish Tank.
So what is your visualization then for kind of how we see Arisce and Isis, kind of their characters in this next season? What kind of hints can you give us as like a preview into what it might look like here for the next season?
We definitely want to go into backstories,
okay,
like, get deeper into character development, so you can really get to know who these people are,
okay,
kind of like know a little bit about either their family or friends, just diving deeper into these characters, and then going on an even wilder journey, than season 1, because the first season was really just kind of like our pitch, like, it's like, guys, do you like the show? Like, pick it up, like this is what it is,
Which I can see. I mean, but again, there's a lot going on. I mean, it's although it's not a long series. I mean, you packed a lot of information in there, and really a lot of fun interactions between everyone that kind of really kept it going in such a great way. For Arisce, for you, what do you hope to pull from your day-to-day life into this next season for your character potentially?
Just more of what makes me, so that would be like a backstory.
Yeah.
Just because, again, it's a story that I've not seen on TV yet. Like, you don't see how a trans person grew up and becomes confident,
right?
Or becomes, I don't know, a boss-ass bitch with nice clothes. I don't know. But I mean...
That is actually her tagline on everything, boss-ass bitch with nice clothes.
That's all my word. That's all I got. But, again, we don't see that. We always see people getting kicked out of their homes, and the LGBT homeless, and I think that's a great story. They're all great stories to share, but you have to have both sides of the spectrum. You can't just share one side of the story,
right?
Because that's why, there's a lot of people who think that all black people are criminals because that's all they see on TV. I'm like, okay,
wait, what? No,
right, girl.
Well, I will cut you. No,
but
it is true. It's everyone's.
Share.
They do stereotype everyone into this niche. Like Latinos are all like janitors, like you said, black people are all criminals, Asians only do nails. I mean, they really kind of niche everyone to this very general stereotype, and I do like the fact that they're kind of starting to branch out and do stuff like that they're really sure, like especially for queer media, like Alex Strangelove, Call Me By Your Name, even Orange is the New Black. I mean, they've really kind of
That got real queer.
As goofy as it is, and it's really, I mean, with Laverne Cox in there, she's in there as well. But like, I mean, just with lesbian, actually talking about the lesbian community and really kind of giving them a highlight that really isn't shown very much in mainstream media. So I do feel like it's inching its way into a better kind of light for everyone. But what do you kind of hope would be the next step for between the two of you for the step of media and queer media specifically, but media in general, of where you hope to see it maybe here in the next 3 to 5 years of where are kind of either inclusiveness or where people are going to start breaking down additional barriers between hiring or accepting individuals, or even like specifically casting roles and creating roles for queer individuals. Where do you guys hope that would be here in the next 3 to 5 years? Let's go, Brandon, for you. Yeah.
Well, I think like we're on our way. There's definitely like a lot more steps that need to be taken, and I think it's gonna happen because this younger generation, like, they're so much more open to queerness, and they're not like they don't have the same stigmas that our generation or the generation before ours had. So like we're starting to get to this point where people are wide open, and we just have to bridge the gap in terms of sharing these stories on camera. But I feel like 3 to 5 years we'll be sharing like pansexual stories and like, you know, non-binary stories. Like I think we're gonna go all out.
I know genderqueer is like becoming a little bit more of a topic that's starting to be hit on a lot more, and like especially gender non-conforming and non-binary, it's really starting to have stuff out there that's really being produced and put out there in mainstream media, which is exciting. Arisce, for you, what do you kind of see media maybe transitioning to here in the next 3 to 5 years, or expanding its horizons?
It's all come so quickly already. Like I started modeling at 17, and at 19, like I couldn't even tell people. Back when I was much more passable. So when I was 19, I was like this big. Anyway, so smooth. No, but
well, you were modeling. You were like that 00. You're like,
right?
You were tiny.
And I was teensy though. So I'm just saying. So I wasn't even supposed to tell people at castings that I was born male. Like,
really?
Like, nothing like that. It was very like hush hush. Don't say a fucking thing.
I mean, I knew it was very like don't ask to tell kind of thing, but I didn't realize it was that.
Yeah,
big.
I think this is like 13 years ago.
Wow.
That's a long time ago. So now though, like you're getting hired because you're trans.
Right.
Like, but like, oh great, that's like that thing people are into now. So it went from being a gimmick to it's getting much more inclusive to where I'm actually just casting for regular gigs.
Yeah.
And it's just happening so fast. I see for the next 5 years, I'm going to say normalization.
Yeah.
It's just going to be casting people for their talent.
Yes.
Not.
And you just happen to be. Yeah. You just happen to be gay, lesbian, trans, bi, whatever else in between.
Indian, Asian. Like it doesn't matter. Like you can be the lead to something just because you're qualified and you fit the role.
Right.
It doesn't have to be so cut and dry.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. I mean, just especially that I have a friend who works in casting, and he said he was so amazed to see that they're actually like specifically going on there, hey, we're requesting man, woman, transgender woman, like lesbian, like they are specifically putting on these call sheets asking for the specifics in there and not just saying man, woman, done. And it's just like they're really being more cognizant and looking to specifically reach out to, hey, this is the demographic we want to hit, and this is how we're going to really portray that. So which is really exciting that they're finally getting on the fucking boat and really understanding that this is how the world is.
Yeah, no, it's not going back in the genie bottle.
No.
Like we're all individuals, and you have to start looking at people as individuals.
Right, and I think the race thing will always be an issue, and I really hope that really kind of levels out to becoming, like you said, just this normal everyday thing. But like queer media and LGBT like kind of recognition is really just blown up.
Yeah.
So
one
quickly.
fight at a time.
One fight at a time. Burn them all down. So for the two of you, is there anything we can look forward to coming up here in the near future besides season 2, which better be fucking done here by the end of the year? So we're gonna make sure Amazon Prime gets their shit together and gets them that money, honey. But for you, Brandon, is there anything you're currently working on that we can kind of look out for?
There's a couple. There's a kids show that I want to develop. I have 2 nephews that live in North Carolina.
Oh,
and so
cute.
I'm a FaceTime uncle.
Yay!
And I don't like being a FaceTime uncle. I want to have like a connection with my nephews. So I think I want to create this kids show as a way to be a part of their learning process.
Oh, cool.
To kind of help educate them, but also so they can see my personality and like get to know me better. It's instead of just seeing me on FaceTime all the time.
Just on FaceTime all the time. And you can go check out Brandon on brandon-smithson.com, and it's BRANDON, not Ian, because I fucked that up. It's ON. And you can just Brandon Smithson just everywhere else on Facebook, Instagram.
Oh, on Instagram it's DB Smith.
Yeah, that's what I was DB Smith. At DB Smith. And then Arisce, for you, what do you have any? Oh, I know you have something fun coming up that you were telling me earlier that you're gonna be doing here in the next next month or
this weekend.
This weekend. Oh, this weekend. Oh my God, I'm losing my mind.
I'm gonna be walking for Marco into his 4th show. It's gonna be the largest all-trans show he's ever had. That'll be in New York at the Hammerstein Ballroom, I believe. And then on Sunday, I'll be walking for opening ceremony at New York Fashion Week.
Which is amazing. And you've worked at some other really amazing. I think you've done Prague, you've done LA Fashion Week, and a few others as well.
Lots of fashion.
Lots of fashion. She's done a lot of. She's walked a lot.
11 years.
She's walked a lot of these places. Lots of those trips. But and then anything else, acting wise, is there anything you have coming out that we can look out for as well?
I have some short films coming out.
Fun.
You can just follow me at Aristocrat.
Aristocrat, and then it's just Arisce, WANZER, Wanzer, and just check out on social media that way and see anything else that comes up. They're all posted there, but on Instagram it's at Aristocrat, and you can check them out. Thank you both so much for being here today and really showcasing everything Fish Tank. You can see Fish Tank series and go check it online. Get your shit on Amazon Prime, ladies and gentlemen. It's an amazing series, all about fun, love, laughter, and the craziness that ensues with it. We want to thank them both, as well as GayLifeLA.com and King's Room Apartments. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thanks.